Welcome to 23 Degrees Sideways. We are on the new dinghy once again. This is the rubber dinghy. It's a different. In some ways, it's less fun. Like I really like a good hard shell wooden sailing dinghy that is too big for the boat that we're taking on our journey, because what I really want is about 12 feet and a nice gaff rig and all that stuff. And we're on 27-foot sailboat. Anyway, this is a lot easier to get into and out of because of the buoyancy and the big pontoon tubes and everything. And that's a big deal when you're at anchor, getting on and off the boat. I got onto this from the boat. We're not at anchor yet. But I did, and it was pretty cool, So now I've got to try getting off of it onto the boat, which I did accomplish one other time, but not with a ladder. So we got to rig this ladder thing up and see how this goes. I think I'm going to go for a better ladder system over time. Anyway, we're out. It's a beautiful day. This is one of those days where you want to be leaving and we're not quite ready. I got the solar hooked up. We've got refrigeration. We can potty. We can sleep. We got the sleep figured out. We've got too much stuff. And I need to offload some of it again tonight and kind of organize a little more. We're pretty close. We're pretty close, but there's a couple things that I think would be easier if we didn't have. That's just something we got to think about. So, there you go. Here we are. The journey is so much more important than the destination. And that's a big deal, because I'm sitting here with a little 1970s electric motor. I'm doing this for fun. All right, but look at this motor. Look at this thing. Yeah, little tiny motor. Little tiny motor. It came with some other stuff. I did not actually pay for it. It's about, as far as I can tell, there's very little information on these, but based on amperage draw and stuff, it feels like it's about a 12-pound thrust motor. Like I could actually do more short-term with oars than this does. But the 55-pound thrust electric motor that I bought used has decided that it's going to need repair work, and I really need to stop buying used things that are not demonstrated, with a good usage in front of me. I was doing it to help out one of the fishing museums, and they wanted too much for it, but I'm like, hey, it's a donation, and it worked for a couple of hours. It was pretty good, and now something in the controller board is not happy, and I can probably fix it. And it's worth fixing because it's the 55-pound thrust model, and they're kind of expensive. But a 36-pound or 33-pound, whatever, depends on the brand, thrust model would actually be just fine for most of what I think we're going to end up needing to do with the dinghy when we're at anchor. Now, if you want to go have fun and go on dinghy adventures and stuff, then you want to be able to go a little faster. We're sitting here cruising. We're cruising, by the way. We're doing 1.7 knots, which is pretty good for this little tiny 1970s motor made in Iowa. But I really, really, really would like to be able to do 4. Getting up on a plane, and pushing 8 miles an hour would actually be really cool, but I don't know if that's actually something we're ever going to do in this dinghy in particular. There's not with 3 of us. It's kind of a small dinghy for 2 people and a dog. Even though it's a small dog, there's still a lot of bouncing. 11 foot, 10.5 foot version of this would be really cool. This is, of course, the fiberglass bottom version, so it's really a lot more stable, a lot more solid to get into and out of. I really like it. A little bit harder to get onto the boat. When you need to get it onto the boat, you gotta like partially deflate it and kind of wiggle it in. It's doable, but it's not super fun by any stretch of the imagination. So the journey. How do you even talk about that? You know, it's one of those things. The journey is more important than the destination. And there's a truth to that, in that the destination is an attachment and an anticipation and all of that crap of Maya. And the journey can be the experience of now, just now. And on one level, that's a really, really big deal. You know, there's another level past that where you're timeless. That's really hard to talk about. I'm not going to talk about that. But one of the things about accepting this, no destination, just going, is slow with a very low energy draw, so this battery will last for hours, longer than I will last in terms of patience. It is a big deal. There is a meaning to that phrase. The journey is more important than the destination, or it's about the journey, not the destination. It's a big deal, but it's really not something people say, in my opinion, in the right way. They're still focused on trying to appreciate the travel to the destination. It's still about the destination. Most people who say that, it's still about the destination. They're just trying to make the journey fun. And one of the things about being out on the water for me is that it really, really is just about the moment, just about the journey, just about the experience. It's not even the journey, it's just the experience. You know, the reason I'm moving is because mechanically it's easier and more comfortable to ride in a moving boat under control than drifting in a completely haphazard manner. That's just more comfortable, more seaworthy, also safer. That's about it. This is a short-ish video. We're doing our stuff, getting ready to go. Really, really, really hoping to get off the dock very soon. I'm kind of winging it because I have an appointment that is kind of important to get to in about 6 days. And once we leave, we're not going to be far from shore, but transportation is going to be haphazard. So we'll see how that goes. I'll just make it work, one way or the other. That's it. Stay sideways.